Electric car sales are on the rise across Europe, but one major company appears to be bucking the trend. Tesla has seen both its stock price and sales plummet in recent months. Both supporters and critics say the brand is suffering after CEO Elon Musk turned his attention to politics, throwing his support behind Donald Trump and his right-wing parties in Europe.
A protest against Donald Trump, but also against Tesla. The company's CEO has thrown his weight behind the American president and far-right parties. That's turned owning a Tesla into a political statement, and not just here in Silicon Valley. Ralf Heckels has been driving a Tesla for years. The engineer from Leipzig in Germany bought the electric vehicle because he was impressed by its technology at the time. And he says that doesn't change just because Elon Musk is now in politics.
125,000 employees work at Tesla, including many capable engineers, and of course business partners who are now seeing their investments slipping away. I do believe that this company will find its way again. I also find it unfortunate that people are turning their backs on a technology.
But the number of those who no longer want to support Elon Musk by buying a Tesla is growing, including in the biggest European auto market, in Germany. New vehicle registrations for Teslas have tumbled. In February, they fell 76% on the month. Not too far from Berlin, at the Gigafactory in Grünheide, workers are increasingly worried about their jobs. It's not just car buyers turning their back on Tesla, but investors too. The share price has tumbled, and the reputation of the EV maker could be damaged for years.
I think there's always a rational part in the purchase decision of a car, which means that we want to look at the range and we want to have a look at the technical specificities, but then there's also the more subjective emotional part, and this is also very important. And obviously at the moment you have quite a number of people who would not be very satisfied with what Elon Musk is doing.
Tesla driver Ralf Heckels says he's hoping Elon Musk returns to doing what he does best as quickly as possible.
If Elon were here, we'd first have a beer together. I'd shake his hand and say to him, "You've done well so far, but now get back on track. You're not a politician, so go back to your roots again." He'll understand he's messing up at the moment. You can see it in the quarterly figures or the daily sales numbers. I hope he understands the reasons and can draw the right conclusions.
In the meantime, Tesla has reportedly warned US President Trump that it's set to be hit hard by the impact of tariffs. Just because its boss works for the president doesn't mean Tesla can get away lightly from the fallout of his economic policy.
Let's bring in David A. Kirsch, Associate Professor of Management and Entrepreneurship at the University of Maryland. Thanks for joining us. So let's look at sales first. They're taking a hit right now in the U.S. and in Germany, where we are. In Germany, sales have dropped by 70% in the last year. Is this the boycott taking a bite?
Well, I think it's a number of different factors contributing to the fall. Certainly, the agitation and mobilization against the brand is really quite unprecedented. We really haven't seen anything like this in mainstream auto markets in decades. So I think this is certainly taking a bite. I also think the product is getting a little stale. This is basically his Model 3 and the Model Y were now introduced 9 years ago. So people are ready for something new. I think the incumbent manufacturers, Germany is the birthplace of the automobile. There are a lot of outstanding manufacturers there that have also upped their game. So I think it's a little bit of a perfect storm for Tesla. I'm in some ways impressed they may be able to sell as many as 2 million cars again this year, given the headwinds that they're facing.
You said that the brand is getting a bit stale. Tesla hasn't brought out anything that would entice consumers. Is that related in some way to his role as the head of the Department of Government Efficiency, as a close advisor to President Trump at this moment?
Well, it's hard to know how Mr. Musk actually spends his days. You know, he is the notionally the CEO or owner, I guess, in the case of X, of 4 major companies and some smaller ones, and he also seems to have a full-time job in Washington. So I don't know what we can attribute to what, but I do think that he has not spent full-time. You know, if any automotive CEO were to be spending their time in this way, any other automotive CEO, I think they'd be fired by the shareholders, by the board of directors.
Yeah.
But in Elon Musk's case, he seems to be able to get away with it.
And briefly, if you could, we're at the end of the show here, but does it look like Musk may have made a bad gamble with his government role, or do you think that Tesla could recover and that they could actually profit from this in the long run?
Well, in the short term, it was very profitable. He spent approximately $275 million to help elect Donald Trump, and his holdings in Tesla increased by on the order of $50 billion. So that was an investment everyone would like to be able to make. Since the inauguration, since his involvement with this Doge government efficiency operation, a lot of the bloom is off that rose, and I think we have to assume.
Okay, unfortunately, we're going to have to leave it there.
Maybe second
guessing himself. We're going to have to leave it there. David A. Kirsch, thanks for joining us.